Republicans running for president or considering it are opposing House Speaker Boehner's attempt to raise the debt limit. Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron goes down the checklist.
At the National Press Club in Washington, Minnesota Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann dismissed the Boehner plan to raise the national debt limit beyond $14.3 trillion and vowed to lead the opposition against any increase in federal borrowing.
I can't support any plan that begins with the assumption that we have to raise the debt limit and yet doesn't offer a fundamental restructuring of government spending habits. I won't do it.
In Texas this week, Governor Rick Perry, who's expected to join the presidential race within a month, suggested he too is prepared for a default, downplaying the potential disaster both parties in D.C. predict.
So I think this threat that somehow or another the world's going to come to an end, and the threat of we're not going to be able to pay our bills is a bit of a stretch. Most Americans know this. We've spent too much money. We have gotten our house in bad shape.
Fellow Texan Ron Paul, who's railed against the debt since long before his 2008 White House bid, is a promised vote against the debt hike, arguing the Boehner plan does not truly cut spending.
Both sides are failing to understand that the country is bankrupt. There will be a default. The only debate that is going on is how you default. And I vote for, stopping the spending.
Former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty says he won't support the Boehner plan, but he appreciates the Speaker's efforts. Mitt Romney, quote, applauds Boehner's leadership, but has repeatedly refused to take a position on the Boehner bill, a tack that could undercut his self-promoted reputation for economic and fiscal know-how. The only GOP White House hopeful backing a debt increase is former Utah Governor Jon Huntsman, who's called the Boehner bill a good step.
The Boehner plan at least begins that process of cutting that I think is terribly important. The president has shown no leadership. He doesn't have a plan on the table. My opponents in this race haven't even come up with what they support.
But all the Republican presidential candidates do support spending cuts and oppose tax hikes. Sarah Palin calls the Boehner bill a GOP retreat, while she accuses the president of trying to scare voters into accepting more government spending. But she's not actually above political threats herself, and she warned Republicans on Facebook today that everyone she talks to believes in contested primaries. She sides with Tea Partiers against a debt hike and will join a Tea Party rally in Iowa right around Labor Day weekend, right about the time she says she'll make a final decision on whether she's running or not. Brett?
Makes you go, All right, Carl, thank you. A spokesman